So let's introduce the officers. I'm Livio, the president.
Dylan, vice president.
I'm Tyler, the marketing guy.
What's your official title? Oh,
I'm the bard. You didn't
Yeah.
introduce yourself.
Oh yeah.
we forgot about official titles. I'm
Official titles? Not the. Okay.
I'm the final boss, also known as president.
I have like 3 names.
You're
The
double
old
casted.
Yeah, I'm like the mini boss. We thought of that after we named that the final boss, and then the other one, we combined the roles, is like the old man in the cave at the beginning of Zelda, who gives you the sword. That dude. Because I'm like obligated to give lectures, that kind of thing.
You mean you don't enjoy it?
You
Well-
can have obligation and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have taken the role if I didn't enjoy it.
So you hand out things and tell people in what manners it's dangerous to go.
Yes. At the moment, it's that way. If you walk out the door, I will kill you.
That's what the forecast is about.
Oh yeah. You'll probably get eaten by a giant half zygote.
So, is Christian gonna introduce himself?
Oh yeah.
No.
Media man shakes his head.
He's shy guy. No, really. He is.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And he's also
Lakitu.
the guy who holds the camera in Mario. In Mario Kart.
And not present is...
Zooming.
Our treasurer. What's his title? Rogue?
Oh yeah.
Or as he likes to say, Rouge.
Yeah.
Rouge.
So
He's
he's
not here. That's oddly appropriate.
No, he's here. You can't see him. There's a ninja exit somewhere.
He's just there.
They just took the sign down. I think.
No,
it's
you
there,
just
you're
can't see it.
Oh,
right
okay. It's
underneath
like
it.
directly. Gotcha.
It's two-dimensional from your perspective.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi,
Sorry I'm late.
So what's your name?
Traffic lights are up.
Brendan.
Brendan. Okay. Yeah, we should get everyone to introduce themselves now. So we just finished introducing the officers.
Okay.
I can't remember. Were you here in the first meeting?
No.
No. Hey,
That guy
why is everyone 10 minutes late? 5 minutes late.
Rain. The sperm. All of these factors.
It's just that.
The red lightning.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
he's so beautiful.
I don't want to get in trouble with camping in that. Shows you how many
Parking?
shooters
Parking
I
in
have.
that lot? I think we're probably okay.
I'm afraid of parking in that lot before 5, so I can't ever get here early, ever.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I wait in the truck until 5.
I feel like you'd be okay if you waited like got out 5 minutes early.
According to
I'm
Robbie,
nervous Nelly.
according to Robbie, you can get supposedly park 15 minutes early, maybe 10 minutes early, and not get a ticket.
That's cool.
Yeah.
traffic out of the garage.
So, should we? Nah, let's
Whatever.
leave him in the cold. Whatever. We'll figure it out as we go. So, we're talking about introducing the officers. We just introduced ourselves. I'm Livio.
Dylan.
Tyler, Christian.
Zooming's gone.
Zooming's not here. He's in a study session for something. Yeah, now
35.
Yeah, now we want everyone else to introduce themselves. So, well, he already said his name.
Brendan.
Brendan.
Yes. Should we say what you're interested
Yeah. What
in?
are you interested in
Yeah.
video games?
I play a lot of video games, and I'm going into computer science, most likely. That's
Right.
what I'm in right now. So I just thought I would join this club and see if it's something that I liked, game design.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Next.
I'm Harvey. I'm already in programming. I also do some very poor art and other aspects of gaming, and you'll be able to see my bad art later.
My name's Glenn. I'm a creative writing major, mainly interested in writing for visual or interactive media,
Awesome.
which is why I came here, because this is the Interactive Media Club, so I thought I'd see what you guys were into and all that.
Cool.
I have something to say about that later.
Is it
That's
written
really
down?
good. Yeah, no, this is the one about story.
Cool.
Alright, I'm Patrick, computer science, and let's see, almost have a degree in game design from
Right.
Kima Community College. So
I'm Jordan. I'm also in comp sci. It's kind of out of necessity because nobody wants a systems designer. My passion is really the way complex systems fit
Right.
together, and like I could spend hours and hours poring over blogs about how people balance strategy games and stuff, and those kind of spreadsheets and all that nerdy stuff. That's really my passion.
That's awesome.
I'm Alec, and I'm in computer science and mathematics. I'm here to just learn more about game design.
Okay, I'm Tyler. I'm primarily a programmer, but I've also been experimenting with art aspects as well.
Wait, there's room over here.
Move the camera, lock it in.
It's all Tyler's fault. Well, there's room on the couch if you move.
Yeah, that's what he was pointing to.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sit next to him.
Well,
Yeah.
the pillows are in the way.
I'm Alex. I'm into the art aspect of game design, although I'd like to learn more about programming as well. So.
Or you went.
I'm Peter. I'm a CS major. I've been making halves of games since I was a kid. I just like have all these scrap projects in Flash, and then later Java, and then later Python. You know, whatever. So I kind of want to actually finish something. So
That's cool. Finishing a game is pretty hard.
I'm Caitlin. I'm really fond of video games. I know absolutely nothing about the design process, so I figured I'd join, it'll rub off, and we shall figure it out.
I'm Dave.
Stage fright.
And I'm a double major in computer science and math. I know I'm very Asian, huh? But yeah, so my goal here is to like not only get more programming experience, but to also understand level design as well, and probably maybe understand the relationship between mechanics and level design.
You know, you can sit closer to that chair.
Oh no, camera problem.
Does it block anybody? Or you just don't want to be on camera?
No, I didn't know. I thought I was.
Oh,
Nah.
well, we could have sorted that
It's
out.
kind of informal. Whatever.
We can black you out.
No, just
And-
censor me.
and-
Censor me because of SOPA.
Change your voice. We can change your voice and all of that.
Yes.
Be the dark silhouette, the deep voice.
It's just like a group discussion. There's just like little cutscenes of him like in a dark room, adding comments to it.
Are there going to be
Yeah.
QTEs? Please.
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah.
you want to talk about projects? Yes.
Anything?
We should. So
you want to talk about projects?
Well, instead of reintroducing the projects again, like in the first meeting, let's first talk about the projects that are currently ongoing and the progress that has been happening in the last 2 weeks. So, so you started a project with Harvey, Tyler and Harvey. Do you want to present what you've done,
Alright,
or what
sure.
you have so far?
Alright, so far we're working on a mod for the game The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. So far we sort of brainstormed what we want to do with it, which direction we want to go, and we're thinking about making like a small town at the north of the map. Before I do that, is everyone here familiar with either Morrowind or any of the Elder Scrolls games? Anyone not?
Skyrim, Oblivion, Daggerfall, Arena, anyone?
Arena.
Yes.
The one with the red guard. The
No,
one about
that's- Oh yeah.
there's like 3 of them in there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, yeah, so we're just using their provided construction set as well as possibly some additional art assets that we might create or not, or download from the internet, whatever. Right now, the idea is we create a small town at the north of the map next to Dagenfell, if anyone is familiar with that area. It's sort of a coastal region with lots of rocks and stuff in the water. And it's up north, so there'd be snow and stuff everywhere. The idea is that there's this little town, and there's a bunch of evil cultists or something in it that kill the priest in the town. So you show up, you ask one of the NPCs whatever about rumors or what they're doing, and then they tell you that they're really scared or something, and they say, go to the mayor. And when you get to the mayor, you ask him, hey, what's going on? He says, our priest is dead, go investigate. Because that's what NPCs do. They can't help themselves either. So you go and you investigate and find out the priest was looking into this cult and they probably killed him. You go back to the mayor and he says, oh, well, go get his spirit from the spirit realm, and there's this awesome gate and you have to go through it. So you go off into the spirit realm, you get the priest's soul, and then, or you talk to him, his ghost, and he tells you who the cultists are, and you come back and you either kill all the cultists or arrest them or something along those lines. And then we were thinking about including other side quests in the spirit realm sort of place, which would be, you know, this ghost wants you to go get some item so that they can be laid to rest or something, or go tell their family that they're okay, something like that. So.
And it's gonna be based off of some pre-existing Morrowind lore, not just Morrowind, but pre-existing Elder Scrolls lore about the god Arche, whose life and death, which is where the spirit realm or the gray medium comes in. And basically, here's our concept art so far. It's very poor.
Styling.
And I'm proud of it.
Is that the gate?
This
what
is
the
like
priest
this
looks
is the actual alternate realm.
Oh, okay.
This part is like a portally gate thingy. That's why there's swirls in it. Yeah.
Questions asked.
And it's darkness squiggles around. But there's like sort of a town in the spirit realm that like sort of goes off infinitely, because obviously there has to be infinite space because people keep dying. But I kind of sort of thought of like a bony feeling or a stone feeling, which is why there's these spires like sitting up here. But it really is. It's kind of cool to see, like with Oblivion, you got to travel to a different dimension, and we kind of brought that into Morrowind, which is earlier.
So how much work is it gonna be?
Not a whole lot, because they have a lot of modding resources available. Using the Elder Scrolls construction set is very easy, and essentially we'd end up using a lot of assets that already come with the game, so we wouldn't have to create too many of our own. Creating our own assets that's where a lot of the effort would go into, and we'd only do that for things that we absolutely had to. Otherwise, we just reuse things that were already there, or borrow some from other modders.
Do you know if Oblivion and Skyrim, like they have the same? Probably not Skyrim. They redid the.
Oblivion has the exact same
like,
thing.
No, I know they have the same construction kit. I'm talking about meshes and texture files, because in the Shivering Isles, they have like, I don't know, when you're talking about a bony kind of feel, they have a lot of stuff like that there.
Right. They are definitely not the same. If you take a Morrowind mesh and you put it into Oblivion, you end up with a spaghetti monster.
Right, you have to convert them.
Yeah,
you can, but
it's a pain. But
and generally it's not legal to do so either.
Yeah.
Or
Why
at least
not?
to distribute your
Yeah,
mod as well.
right.
Well, I've actually seen mods that had problems with that, where they tried to rewrite the Morrowind game in the Oblivion engine, and the Elder Scrolls had to like ban them from their website because they were.
Yeah, that's kind of different though. But no, yeah.
But I pulled up the tool right now, so I can show you guys kind of what we're working with.
Do you have any idea of like a deadline for when you'll finish it by?
No.
Not really. It's not a concern of ours. I mean,
You probably should set a deadline,
Mhm.
or else it'll go on forever.
It's not gonna go forever. We're not gonna let it.
Famous
no.
last word.
No. we haven't gotten to the point where it's like feasible to set a deadline because we haven't actually seen what the work is yet.
Well, you could set deadlines for. We need to see what the work is like by this day.
Well, we kind of have. We're like, probably within the next 2 weeks we'll have started working on it already. I've actually started working, and I told you I had an hour of work put in, and it decided to be a butt face and crashed when I tried to load a texture, so I didn't have any of that work done.
The construction kit, you have to save a lot.
Yeah, but it was because I loaded a texture
No,
file.
I understand.
No,
Like I've used the Oblivion one a lot. It's
So-
kind of horrible when it
Yeah,
crashes.
that is
Basically,
a major
here-
problem. Their
here's what we
construction
have
is
with what we're working with.
Could at least have an autosave feature.
No.
Of course not. That
No.
would be way too convenient.
So over here we have all the different like objects that we work with. Like everything in the game is listed in here. All the chairs, every candle, everything is right in here. You can see the screen, like not the screen, the world right here, and you can manipulate it with texture and terrain editors. And then there's the different cell names. So what we're doing is this is the town of Dagenfell, and we're going to be right up over here, just off the coast, and we're going to have a small island there, and then an alternate dimension, which we're putting inside of an interior field.
What made you decide to go with, what are you doing, Morrowind?
Right.
What made you decide to go with Morrowind?
I like Morrowind.
You like Morrowind more
As do I.
than these two? Okay.
As do I.
Great reason.
Yeah.
As far as I'm
No, but
concerned,
that's an okay reason.
I would be doing that if I had Morrowind on me,
Right.
but I don't. So yeah, no.
Okay. So, did anyone else start a project recently? Anyone else want to?
Sure.
Wow, everybody. Well, not everyone. Well, should I talk about my project? Well, it's on the website and it's kind of old, but so Zooming, the treasurer who's not here or is here. The rogue. We've been working on a project together where for the last few weeks we've just been making rapid prototypes in order to pick a game idea. So this is actually going to be our final week of that process, and I made a game in 1 week testing an idea during the first week of classes, and last week, or at least most of the work happens on the weekends. So last weekend I was working on a new one for this week. It's not completely done because it's hard to make time for these things, but I want to show some of them. I'm not sure. I should probably put my brightness up. So the first one, if you saw it on the website, it's called Fighting Blind. It is a 2-player game. And how are we going to demo this? We don't have a projector or anything. Just going to turn it around.
Put it in front
And
of the
it's
camera,
dark.
point at things.
Oops.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
the whole point of the game is
Just
that
like
you can't
reach
see
around the
anything.
keyboard and
Yeah,
mash on the player one.
it's true.
I'm going to record a video of this while people play because I want to make a video of it. And because it's a 2-player game, it's a pain to record. Or at least it's a pain for me to do it by myself. So I'm going to take advantage of this demo.
Freeloader.
This is for the website. The club website. Okay. So who wants to play the demo?
I want to play a video game.
So you two.
Okay.
The only 2 people who dared play my game.
I already played it.
Oops.
I didn't for this purpose.
I'm going to turn this.
Gonna sit in his lap.
Winner gets to sit in
There.
Winner's lap.
So let me make a screen brighter.
I have a distinct advantage. I get to sit.
Except.
Oh, wait.
Wait. I need to think.
I need
Okay.
to read. Not
I
think.
have distinct advantage. Okay.
Harvey must lose.
Moving. Okay.
Ready? Go. I have
You
no
need to
idea.
click on the screen.
Oh.
in the background.
Well, it just says click anywhere, so. Oh, I was pressing the wrong button.
That's not-
This is kind of cool. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Does it flash whenever you do
Hold on, let me
something?
turn the sound up. Pause the game.
Stop.
Yeah, whenever you move without sneaking,
You can
I can't
sneak.
remember what
Try now.
sneaking was. No idea what's happening.
Wait, which one am I?
I have no idea who I am either. Okay.
Button mash, that's a key to victory in fighting games.
What?
How do we know who's
I
winning?
don't know.
What's going on up there?
It's awesome.
That's the point.
It's endless
I
farming.
think Ryu is winning.
So, yeah. So basically, it doesn't matter how many times she punches me because whenever I go back, I'm gonna be at the same point I was before.
Yeah.
There's no health bar yet.
Just a
That's the
prototype.
entire point of a fighting game, in my opinion.
Oh my god.
You just
we're
sit here and
endless
punch
punching
each other. I keep half
If only
expecting
real
it
life
to
could
be
be
like
like this.
those
You know-
that old game where you're sitting there and you're pressing buttons and then the one
Do you know
robot.
about the block button?
Rocket Soccer Robots.
Yeah,
Nah,
you
I forgot
remember
which
what
button was which.
It's right next to the attack button. So, one of you blocked it.
Okay, you have problems with you have a problem with that corner. I can tell. Like, look, come over and punch me. Like, come over to.
I think it's because you were sneaking while blocking.
No, look. It's because like we're both in the same
Oh yeah,
space.
that's true. Yeah,
So there's a bug. Now go fix it.
that's more of a design flaw than a bug.
Yeah, there's a design flaw.
Yes. Advertise
Okay.
it in the 3D re-release.
Okay, I feel no fun in that because I don't get to win.
Except
I think it's hilarious. The concept's hilarious.
It's a great concept. It's just
That sounds like a whole bunch of fun.
But
Run
I really
around,
felt like
punch each
Ryu.
Anyone want to say?
I'm sorry, what's your name?
I'm Harvey.
Harvey. All right. So just programming it so the fight goes for like 60 seconds and then it stops and it flashes Harvey wins.
Yes. It doesn't matter who's
So-
playing it.
Wrong.
Always
It's
says
supposed
Harvey.
wrong. It's supposed to say Harvey loses. Okay. I'm sorry.
So here's the other one that I was working with. It's a
Is
racing
this a
game.
two-player game?
No, it's just one player.
I want to beat someone.
Can you crash?
No.
Does the game crash?
Now I have a
This
question.
is, this is the one I said that I didn't finish all the way. I spent most of the time just working on the driving mechanics because it's very hard to polish.
Now I have a question. I saw that you were working on Stencil. Was it you that was working with Stencil?
Yeah.
Okay. I tried working with it and it proved to be extremely either basic or difficult. I couldn't tell which.
Did you read any guides or anything?
Yes.
Which ones?
The first one.
The starter guide?
Yes.
You couldn't even do those?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
But it just
What were you trying to do?
make a game, obviously.
More specific details would be nice.
Well, no, I felt it very difficult to like import
What?
resources in order to make a game.
Who was up there?
It's a tunnel that you can't go into.
It's been
I would do it.
onto.
It's a cheap tunnel.
It's been
It's other words for spawner and despawner, except they don't spawn. They don't despawn accurately.
Make the tunnel longer.
But at least the driving physics are nice.
Now, which game did you make in Stencil? Could we see that
Neither
one?
of these.
Or is that one fully done?
No, there's one on the website that I made for the workshop,
Oh, okay.
and you can actually play it on stencil.com. Yeah. So, yeah, Stencil has a learning curve like any other tool.
You're calling me stupid.
What? No.
It's not what learning curve means.
Yeah, it is.
If you hit a learning curve, that means it's stupid. So yeah, those were two games that I made recently.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
So, anyone else have any project updates?
What's the project?
Anything game related? Like they're making a mod. That's not even a full game.
Hey,
You could.
it's something. at
they
least.
sell them as full price games when they sell them.
Yeah. What do you
Kind
think?
of.
I have some games that aren't really like projects, it's just some things I was messing around on, but
Like just
still, the
experimenting?
concepts could be
Yeah, like these weren't even full games, they're just prototypes to see if the game would be fun or if it would work.
I did find the fighting game quite fun. Like the
You said it
ideas-
was boring.
Well, it was boring because I couldn't win.
He's a gamer. Gamers always contradict themselves.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, but like what I think, I really like the idea of like almost a stealthy fighter, like to where you could actually have that stealth implemented in.
Yeah, the problem is that it's not very stealthy. You make noises just to figure out where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, once you find that person's like, oh, it's just stuck there. Then it's. But
Well, you can sneak a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, but I think most
that's
players.
hard
I think most players are not going to be. You have to try and. I don't know. Like,
And once you try sneaking, you completely lose track of where you are.
Yeah.
What if
It's like-
instead of having like
a good idea.
everything completely secret, what if like the locations of the players were very visible and so
Yeah.
like, no one would lose track, but their specific actions it would be hard to tell. Are they ducking? Are they blocking high? Are they preparing an attack? And you could make players would be able to approach each other very easily, but then the actual point of contact would be kind of a guessing game, kind of a rock paper scissors where you don't know how they're approaching. So
This might actually be really cool
with
on
that-
on
On
okay,
network.
so no, if you ever watched people modding like 3D glasses basically by taking the lenses from them and like popping this one out and switching it with the same kind of like the other one. And so
Oh, yeah.
on the 3D TVs, you would be both looking at it, and one of you would see one screen, and the other would see a completely different one.
Sony put out a TV like that.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
basically, they did. You can do split screen where each person has their own perspective.
Yeah,
They
I
have
like how they
special-
got the
They literally
idea
just
from
took
people
that
just modding
concept,
it.
just
Yeah.
screwing
Okay.
around.
So wait. That could easily be like. Do you think you could program it like that?
No, you definitely
Yeah,
could.
okay.
Like you would just render
So-
different things to different
Right.
screens.
You need a special screen for that one.
No, you
Right.
wouldn't.
A really
You would,
No,
but I
you
think that would be a
wouldn't.
really cool application.
Just
Yeah.
buy the Sony PlayStation.
So
and love
specific
it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have different outputs on, depending on. I don't quite know how it works. It's
Right.
Specific
Well,
like,
the
polarization
3D
of light depending on
Yeah.
the glass.
Exactly.
3D works by showing each eye different things.
Yeah.
So you could make it so that you could show different viewers different things.
Right. Couldn't you do that on a normal screen though? Like
yeah, if you were willing to
With red and blue.
Yeah, that would be. It would be like those things where you like put on red glasses and there's like a picture of like red and blue lines, and it's like, oh, I can see the red thing now, but you
no.
can still kind of see the blue thing.
Couldn't you make the glasses like? Because I know they're just like stripes horizontally and one's a stripe vertical. Isn't it?
I
Isn't
think
that how
so.
it's- Yeah. So couldn't you?
That's like polarization. Is that the term for it?
You can't manufacture polarization on a normal
screen.
Right. I don't see
Yeah.
that working.
Yeah.
I know you
Yeah.
can take this something
it's-
out of the screen so that it looks blank to everyone looking at it, and put like the little
Mhm.
things inside glasses so that when you look at it, you can see your computer screen, but when everyone else looks at it, you can't.
I've seen that too.
Yeah. It's basically the local multiplayer that makes it much more confusing.
Oh yeah.
And having it single player would completely change the
Once
game.
I'm all split screen.
Or, I mean, it would also work as probably like a mobile application. So each
Yeah.
person has their own thing.
But
and
then you'd have
that'd be
to
a
deal
lot
with
easier.
networking.
Yeah, you
and
just have to
that's
do that.
horrible to
And
deal
even
with.
with Wii U, that's probably not likely because we probably just are going to use only one gamepad. 2 gamepads is already processor intensive, so it's a bad idea.
So,
Okay.
let's talk about starting projects. So, everyone, no, not everyone, but many of you want to start projects. General guidelines for starting projects. So, the first thing, keep your scope small and set a deadline to help enforce your scope. That's why I was asking you guys to set a deadline. Remember Project Sponge?
There were deadlines, we just ignored them.
We should probably cover. Yeah, we should probably cover Project
met
Sponge's history.
some of them.
The first one, which was
We met
big
like
deadline.
3.
Second one was ignore all upcoming deadlines.
you want to talk about how that project went?
It went miserably.
Again.
No,
It was-
block your memories.
Remember Project Spot.
There was a lot of people trying to do many different things at once.
And it didn't work out.
So you started the project at the beginning of like a year
Last
ago.
year.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And how many people joined in?
More than 9.
Yeah, it depends on how you count.
It was like
At the beginning
11.
We had like 13 or something like that, and at the end we had like 7.
We had that many people at the end?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I don't know. It depends on who you're counting. Because like at the end, like the people that showed up, they were like 4.
Yeah.
But there were people that were still doing things, kind of. Yeah. I don't know. So there's that. Don't do that.
Let's hear a horror story.
Okay, so for everyone who doesn't know, Project Sponge was
Very ambitious project last year.
Yeah, last year the idea was to make a real-time strategy game, and we were going to include all sorts of fancy stuff like networking and single-player campaigns, and make all of our graphics from scratch and program it in Java.
This is a great horror story.
It's a horror story.
Yeah, which is it's already a horror story.
Yeah,
Programming
first of
games
all,
in Java
making
is
a real-time strategy game is huge in
Right.
scope.
Right. And we
That's-
de-scoped it.
Yeah.
Scopified it.
De-scoped.
Yeah, no, we turned it to a turn-based.
We no-scoped it.
Like halfway no-scoped it. Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's also networking is another huge scope thing that you probably shouldn't want to deal with.
Well, we did have a framework. We were going to use the Slick framework, which is pretty easy to network, I've heard. And it's also pretty easy to do a lot of things, I've heard. But,
There were some things we wanted to do that it did not want to do.
yeah, it really did not want to make a hex grid.
And yeah, so we ended up
Isometric.
writing a lot of our own stuff over Slick, and then we were like, why are we using this if we're just doing our own stuff anyway?
And we ended up doing everything in Swing, which was terrible. But,
Well, I mean, we were just prototyping at that point. I mean, it happened to be the end of our work, but we were prototyping.
Well, wasn't it about like some germs on a sponge or
Right.
something?
It was called Project Sponge. Please do not associate that with anything the game has to do with.
Project
I don't know why
We
they
call
did
it
that.
Project Sponge because the idea was that you'd start out as small microscopic organisms, but the different organisms were too many different types to actually classify as anything. So we
What?
just picked something simple to call it. And then
Yeah, you play as germs, so I thought the term sponge was ironic to clean up the germs. I guess everyone has a different memory of why it was called Project
Yeah.
Sponge.
No one does.
I feel like it was a subliminal thing because we were going to make the game like an undersea. When we were brainstorming at first, we went through a lot of different phases, and one of them was like an undersea thing. One of them was like a extremely like layered
yeah, that
whatever
was never going
that was gonna be. It was like it was like a strategy game with multiple planes, just like stacked. It was not gonna
It's
work.
like 3D chess. With
Yeah.
More dimensions.
Like
So
8.
like 3D Risk or something?
Way worse.
In real time.
Rule in gaming: water and video games do not mix.
No.
They usually don't.
It looked cool.
It looks cool. Yes, let's put some.
You also
normal
went
maps
a
on there.
long time without even testing anything. You're just coming up with designs and ideas,
Right.
and
'Cause
you
that's
never
fun.
made a prototype of it.
We were working on the tools basically
The sponge
the whole
engine.
time almost.
we never actually
So-
figured out how the game would be a game. We were just
Yeah.
making stuff to go into the
Did
game.
you also have trouble like learning the tools? Like you should have set aside a specific time. Okay, we're gonna just mess around with this tool and get to know it before we decide what to do with it.
Yeah, right. From the programming perspective, we never really learned how to use the Slick engine very well, or at all. But well, I learned a little bit about it, but everyone learned a little bit about it, and it was pretty much the same thing. So no one knew how to work the engine.
Didn't you have like multiple layers of management?
Of what?
Management.
That was bad.
Sort of. Yeah, we had
We had a president.
and then we had it We had the
I don't know why he
president,
was a
and then we had,
president,
like,
but
managers, and then we had,
Assistant to the
But
president.
and
had
yet you
teams.
still made decisions democratically.
Yeah, because the president didn't do anything, and I didn't like what the president was doing, so that's not
You didn't
happening.
like the nothing he was doing?
Yeah.
Surprise.
There's a lot of nothing I disagree with.
I disagree with every nothing.
That's a
What
little
is a
far.
nothing?
It's a little extreme.
Anyway, this is getting kind of abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's basically it. Is it had a lot of management problems and a lot of everything
So
problems.
a giant team, you really don't need more than 3 people.
Right. If you're not paying your people, don't have a team larger. than
Yeah,
3.
a lot of it was because like more than half the team was fairly inexperienced with what they were going to be doing. So I don't know, a bunch of the time was spent just kind of like getting them oriented with programming, design, that kind of stuff. And it ended up like not actually building it, but showing them how to build it, even though we could have been doing that like all along.
And also, when you have a big team, there's more confusion about whose job is to do what. Like, if you're just like 2 or 3 guys, then you feel like, yes, there's a lot of responsibility on me. I better do something, make myself productive. But then when you have like more than that, there's a lot. You second guess yourself. You're like, should I do this, or is somebody else gonna do that? And then you don't even you don't even put in the effort to find out who exactly does what, because there are so many people to ask that the team structure just falls apart in a work ethic. So keep your team sizes small. Declare deadlines. Like, if you don't declare a deadline, your deadline will be whenever it's done, which is infinity.
Forever.
Yeah, and you need a deadline to actually regulate your scope, because people are bad at regulating scope and enforcing it. At least if you could say like, okay, I have a deadline of a month. I need to make this in a month, no matter what. Then you have much less room to make excuses and say, well, we're still figuring out the tools. We're not gonna make it yet, or we're still designing things. There's no need to put anything in code yet. And speaking of design, you really should test your ideas as fast as possible. That's the whole point of rapid prototyping, which is what I was doing. Come up with an idea, build it right away, and then see how it plays. That way you don't have to be writing stuff on boards and writing notebooks filled with ideas only to find out that the first idea that it's all based off of just isn't going to work. And it's just more fun to be able to come up with an idea, not even worry too much about whether or not it'll work, and just build it and then see what happens from there. It's a much more organic design process.
We have a projector next time.
They have one in this room. We should probably set it up.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking of maybe us being able to get some stuff thrown together for our project and possibly like project in-game play of it happening.
That'll be much better.
Did you get a room, sort of?
For
Or
these
did
meetings?
you stop working on it because we had this?
Yeah, we decided to use this.
Okay. That works.
It's a much better.
Yeah, it's a better environment.
Yeah. It's just so cool. So.
These presentations were so much fun.
It's so formal.
Yeah.
What should we do now?
I have something.
Well,
Kind of.
you do have.
Yeah.
something.
What else? What? How
We
long do
leave
we
in
have?
15 minutes.
That's probably, I don't know. This is just kind of a discussion-ish thing.
Okay.
After a point.
Or should we give people a chance to
Yeah, we can do that too.
start
You could
projects?
say like, what do people want to see from next meetings or something like that.
Yeah, that would be
Like,
cool.
you guys
Yeah.
want
I've
to
been
discuss some
I've been wanting to
topics.
start a thread on the emails or something about that. But I haven't done that.
Have you ever heard of
Ning,
Ning? What's that?
NING? It's like a group-based form
Oh.
thing that, like, you can make your own. I can't remember what they're
Is it a
called.
forum?
Yeah, it's like a forum, but you don't have to manage anything.
So if you know Ning, then you should know Subtle Go.
No, I have no idea.
What's
about
that?
It's some They're basically social networking.
What?
It's basically a tool to build your own little community, kind of like a mini social networking site.
Not everyone's on Facebook.
Well, the problem with Facebook is that like, with Ning you could create your own forum topic, like, and discuss something, but with Facebook it's like I'm posting on the group wall and now everyone gets this notification and it kind of becomes annoying at some point.
Well, you can organize things into threads, like threads of comments. I think Facebook is okay. It's good enough. We could also use the club website. You can comment on posts. Of course, nobody gets any notification except me. So I'll reply, and then you probably won't even know that I replied.
I knew. Because I love you. But joking aside, I get notifications.
Yeah, I think Facebook is good enough.
Yeah.
Does anyone object to us actually using Facebook to organize serious things like what talks we're gonna use?
I'll have to figure out. I'll probably have to reset my password so I can.
The alternative would be to use a listserv.
Yeah.
But would that be just as annoying?
If not more.
Yeah.
But then if you don't get any notifications, everyone's just gonna forget about it. You're gonna end up with a forum that no one visits.
I visited.
Are they trying to do project tracking or just kind of posting cool things?
Well, we post cool things on our Facebook. I think we're thinking about discussion places.
Yeah, like discussing different projects, discussing different ideas on different topics.
The thing is just like you post like featuring various projects that are happening. You do WordPress, and I think there might be a plugin to notify.
Yeah, we have a website on Blogger, and the reason it's on Blogger as opposed to WordPress is just because I'm more used to Blogger. No, wait. I remember there was a time when I looked into WordPress and I just didn't like any of their layouts.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to pay for anything. So, yeah.
About the money.
So you're on host. You can host it. Anyone who has web hosting.
Yeah, but I don't have time for that.
We've already launched the website and Blogger. Perhaps the best
We could
thing
always
to
make the
do
webmaster position.
is,
We could.
Testing WordPress, but I don't think you have
The reason I say Ning is because it's really a set and forget almost thing. Like,
Let's just use
or
Facebook.
maybe we could make a sub form on the interview.
I was about to suggest that as a joke, but
Oh.
We did that for Project Sponge.
and it stinks that the Interguild doesn't even have any ways to subscribe to posts, to email subscribe.
Anyways, what I was talking about is there like any game design related topic people want discussed? Like, I know there's probably a bunch of people who want to learn about programming and things like that. Is there someone who wants like art tools or just a general introduction to this is sort of the game flow of making
I
games?
can do an intro to stencil.
And Game Maker, possibly.
Maybe. A
Yeah, might as
comparison of
well.
the two. That'll be cool. Are you writing them down?
Sort of.
Sort of. What are you writing there?
I'm also creating a shopping list and no, yeah, I'm writing the stuff down.
Tomorrow's forecast. Or next week's forecast.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But I like the idea of like, what do you guys want to see more here? Like talks about what? Things like that. Like, what do you want to hear
Well,
about?
if someone suggests a talk, are we gonna like take numbers and polls and like, oh, this one has like 3 people
Well,
liking it, and this one has 5.
How
therefore-
about we go by who wants to do what? So if somebody's
yeah,
just
that's
like,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody wants to give a talk about something.
I'm thinking that before we just let people pick topics, we first go over basic topics that every, I guess, 2B game designer should know.
Yeah, like what talks can you give, and then talk about that.
Anything?
No, I mean like...
Oh. What?
He says we should start the year with like intro to game design, sort of.
Right.
I want to do one on prototyping, just because people need to learn this.
I have an idea. The process of like have a different, or you might be able to do a certain amount in one meeting, but like the different steps in making a game, like do you have one on prototyping, one on actual?
Oh, like a general overview.
Yeah, like a set of meetings almost.
I could give a presentation next time, just general how game design works, or how the flow of making a game.
Yeah.
Can someone give a talk about what you were saying earlier about Stencil, but just in general, different tools for people who don't know a lick about programming to make games?
That'll be cool. There's a lot of cool tools out there.
Yeah, you outlined tools last year, but I think it would be good to have like a tool talk where you just kind of go over all the tools that you might need.
We should also.
Pros and cons of different.
Yeah. Like this tool might be better for you if you're from this background, and that sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a bunch of us could do, like, squash that into one mega meeting where everyone just says, here's a bunch of tools I know how to use. And
I can
Java
talk about
API.
RPG Maker.
Well, I've heard of that. I've always wanted to try it, but
It's fun.
I'm too
you
lazy.
can make your own Pokemon game.
Sign me up.
Let's sell it on the App Store. And then get shut down.
But no, that I think was probably the first like non-programming games that I made. Was like I opened up RPG Maker and made some mods to Pokemon.
We could also talk about just level editors. If you want to practice game design, making levels is a great way to do that. You can make a level in just a day. You don't have to worry about programming.
Kind of like that one game that the Energy Guild is based upon.
Yeah.
What is that?
And also like just Portal 2
No.
and Little Big Planet and all those types
Not
of
Smash
games.
Brothers Brawl. That level.
I have a hacked version of the editor.
Okay, probably his version. Then.
Well, no, you can download this computer program that will let you make levels without all the restrictions. You can put tiles on top of tiles and yeah. So the level editor in Brawl is a great example of bad level editor design.
It's so restrictive and it's not pretty simple. You can't really create anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's
actually decent.
I get the impression that it's restrictive for the sake of the AI.
Yeah, that's. I'm really
Like the
surprised
reason
about
there's a
that.
bunch when you start merging hacking levels together with that, you start to realize the AI doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
What
trying to
about,
jump
like,
over stuff and he can't because he doesn't know.
What about like Hammer Editor? Does anyone know anything about that?
I do.
Hammer, that sounds familiar.
It's for a lot of Steam games.
Yeah,
also
I know how-
Counter
I know
Strike.
how to-
okay.
I think I have that.
If you have Steam and you have any Steam games such as
Yeah.
Half-Life,
Like
Yeah,
I've
it's
actually
available to you.
I've actually taken the initiative and downloaded it and put a shortcut to it, but I've never used it more
Tried to
than
play
once.
with it a bit.
it
but-
also has a steep learning curve. I know how to use that one, so I could talk about that one.
It'd be nice if, like, I've always been downloading a bunch of tools and saying I'll try playing with these later. But maybe it'd be nice if we had some kind of event where we just bring out a bunch of tools.
I mean,
and-
like,
We
yeah.
play with each other.
I haven't had
A game night for tools. Tools
I'll
night.
shut up. I'll shut
Let's stop it there before we get to any more suggestive things.
Wait, whatever happened to that idea of a movie night? Are we gonna do that? Ever?
Friday, what?
Are game nights like a regular thing? Or are they just
Yeah.
sort of like
Not every Friday,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Whenever
we think
the
of
next game
planning
night
it.
will probably be on the 28th of September. So 3 weeks from now.
So
That's Friday?
That's a Friday. Are you just not available on Fridays?
No, I am. I'll be somewhere else then.
Okay.
I could talk about the torque engine.
That's cool.
I've used that a lot.
That's cool.
We could probably talk about Quake Engine.
I know an engine, well, it's like kind of like fake programming, called Game Salad, and I found it's really good for beginners.
What's it called?
Game Salad.
Game Salad.
Game Salad?
It's a lot
That's the one for like iOS.
It's really like physics based, and it's mainly for iOS.
Right.
But it works on PC.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of that guy who published that game recently?
wow.
That was very
No,
The-
he like commented on the listserv and
yeah.
stuff like that.
It's also on the website. It's called Pogo Octo.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
Octo
something like
Pogo.
that. Octo Pogo.
Octo Pogo.
I'd
Is
play
he
it if
among
he
us?
had a demo.
Is the designer among us?
No, he's never shown up. He said.
Yeah, he emailed. He sent an email out, and then I replied, but I haven't gotten a reply from him. I can't even play it because I don't have any iOS.
Right.
No one has it?
I do. I'll play it, but I don't want to buy it because it's really shady.
That game is a great example for how not to market your game. The screenshots look very amateurish. At least just the art looks very amateurish.
It looks like crap.
And also, it looks like something that you shouldn't be charging money for. And I hate the description of the game is a very common mistake I see people make. The first few lines of descriptions are usually what you see before you actually have to click on more. So you only have those first few lines to actually tell the person what your game is about. But I hate it when everybody goes on this long rant about what the story behind their game is without actually describing what the game is. And you have to click more, and then you have to read this boring paragraph about what the story is, and then maybe when you're done, you don't even know what the game is about. Like, I'm still not sure what kind of game Octo is.
There's a thing I always heard, like, just from like film writing and stuff like that. Like I heard it was like the way you want to be able to like boil down your story for like a film is like you want to be able to tell it in as short as time as possible. Like say you run the Steven Spielberg in an elevator, you want to be able to pitch your idea for your film like that elevator ride.
You should be able. That's just not just for writing, but for just games.
Anything.
You should be able to pitch your game in a sentence.
So you meet Gabe Newell in an elevator.
Yes.
What's your elevator pitch?
Those first few lines are your elevator pitch.
I think this may have to do with like game designers thinking, oh, we're so artsy, let's describe it.
It's also just a great way to approach the design process, to actually have your pitch, always have your pitch in mind and say, can I describe my game idea in a sentence? If I can't, it's probably too complicated and not fun.
Just don't take an essay to describe the game itself.
I could always talk about Unreal Engine and stuff like that. It's a very nice engine, right?
Give me the update on number 4.
Is it better than, what was that other tool you showed us?
Blender.
Blender?
Yeah, they're.
Well, it probably is better.
Yeah,
because
because Unreal is a dedicated game engine, whereas Blender is really a 3D modeling application with a game engine tacked on. So.
I see a lot of cool indie games being sold off the Unreal Engine.
Right. Because it's very easy for just new developers to get into the Unreal Engine or Unreal 3 at least, because they don't charge you anything up front. You can just download their engine, develop on it, and they only charge you after you release your game and profit. So it's very nice.
What if you don't profit?
Well, then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, they only start charging you royalties after you make, I think, $50,000, something like that.
We should also make that resources page for the website. That resources page has been talked about ever since the club was first started. And we still we didn't even have one on the old site.
Am I supposed to be doing this?
I don't know. I always consider myself to be.
To the webmaster.
I kind of volunteered for that.
Yeah, Alex volunteered for that. And I gave you permissions or something. But only Christian, I gave them to all the officers also, but only Christian accepted it. Or
I haven't.
Or I got an email when Christian accepted it, but not from anyone else.
Do you have to accept it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
The email from Christian.
It just said I have permissions. I was like, okay, cool, done.
Well, now that I think about it, the email that I got when Christian accepted it was telling me that he accepted it using a different email address. Like, instead of his UA email, he used his main email or something. I don't know.
So, next meeting, should I give that talk about just intro to game design?
Like game development.
Or that.
Yeah. I also want to talk about prototyping because that's a core part of game design.
Okay, so double talk then?
Yeah, the talks should be short.
Yeah.
The idea is to have at least 2 talks per meeting, plus the beginning discussion of project updates. So, how long would a talk be?
Maybe 15 minutes long each.
Yeah, probably. Sounds good. It shouldn't be like last year where we had like half-hour long talks.
Yeah.
Or hour-long talks. We should probably leave now. Just because this isn't our room and